What's up, internet? Welcome back to my channel. We're back with another video. All right, so I wanted to come back with a part two about this whole Shannon Sharpe situation to talk about the rubber band effect and what's going to happen in the future in regards to like these lawsuits and these civil suits and, just the future of relationships and things of that nature. One thing we have to be aware of is the rubber band effect. Now, I'm going to use the PPP loans as a perfect example. Okay. Now, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people probably, they wouldn't have really researching who's taking advantage of the PPP loans if you guys wasn't so, arrogant and out in the open about scamming the fucking government. You guys were doing outrageous stuff like buying 2 and 3 Hellcats and, posting it on the internet and all of this other stuff, basically advertising to people, hey, I can get you a loan too. I can get you a loan. I can hook you up. They were advertising it, basically defrauding the fucking government on the internet. People were doing this. And if you notice, it wasn't until just now recently, the past couple years, you're still seeing people getting indicted and getting sent to jail and prison and shit over those PPP loans from damn near 4 and 5 years ago. That's the rubber band effect. They didn't get you when you did it way back in the day, 2 and 3 years ago, but eventually they're gonna catch up to you. Mostly because you guys keep advertising and bragging about it and bragging. So yeah, they're gonna try to get everybody who may have gypped the system on the PPP loans. Matter of fact, if you look at Big U, one of his indictments is getting a PPP loan for his charity and using it to pay himself and blah, blah, blah. I don't really want to get into the tax codes of all of this, but I'm just using the PPP loans as an example of what's going to happen if these women don't stop with all of these frivolous lawsuits and these frivolous allegations and lawsuits and showing the society that you guys have no self-agency and that you might need to be treated like children. There will be laws passed to treat women like children. You know what I mean? All of the, freedoms that women are allowed, they will be taken away because you guys complain. Irrational complaints, and you're clogging our judicial systems with your complaints. There's too many false allegations. Matter of fact, I did some basic research on, I tried to do some research on the conviction rates in Las Vegas because that's where this case was filed. And just so that I can bring it up, I'll put it here in the video, I'll insert it here. But the average conviction rate for a criminal sexual assault case is 45%. Okay? That means across the United States of America, your chance of getting a conviction rate in a criminal sexual assault case is 45%. That's a little under, that's a little under half. You know what I mean? So you have a very good chance at beating a sexual assault case. So what does that tell you? For me, that tells me that women need to practice a little bit more self-agency. Now, this girl, Gabriella Zuniga, going into a civil courtroom as an OnlyFans model, as a self-proclaimed self-worker, and now she's about to tell this story of how she was brutally assaulted by this big black guy and how, I'm just a tiny little, I'm just a tiny little girl. I'm just a girl. I'm just a little tiny girl. I don't know what's happening. Well, all of that stuff goes into the records. All of that stuff makes the conviction rates go down. The more that you women go and do these things with these frivolous lawsuits and these, oh, somebody touched me from 1920, you guys are literally lowering the chance of convictions happening for real people that are real victims. And so that's going to be the rubber band effect, is that ultimately nobody's going to believe none of you guys. And it's going to be twice as harder to get a conviction, even when something really does truly happen. You notice this also with the Me Too movement, when they start attacking Title IX to make it so that, you can't just go to the campus and get somebody kicked out of school without any type of investigation, just because some girl said, oh, he asked me out to a party and I was too drunk to consent. And then that's another one. I'm too drunk to consent. You guys probably don't want to keep going to the damn court saying stupid shit like that, because eventually, okay, people who are legislators will start to make legislation to protect you from yourself, from your literal own stupidity. Since you can't carry yourself in public without needing protection, they will write laws that say, hey, women need a curfew. They can't be out after 10. No women in the bars after 11 or something. They will pass little laws like that, and it's going to piss everybody off, but that's where we are now. You can even see with the whole P. Diddy situation. One of the first questions people said after he got indicted was like, hold on, wait a minute. So does that mean we can't fly girls out? You see what I'm saying? You see how your own actions are gonna make you lose some of the privileges? Like, no, men don't want to fly women out anymore and or do any of that type of romantic stuff anymore, because, oh, now that's sex trafficking. See what I'm saying? There will be a rubber band effect where, these women are enjoying these payouts and all of this stuff now, but as people come into political power and younger people come into political power, and they have all of this knowledge of women taking away alimony and these ungodly child support amounts, awarded amounts in child support and alimony and stuff, they will start writing legislation to stop those things. Because whenever somebody sees a loophole somewhere, somebody is going to come and close the loophole. So you probably don't want to be all out in the open taking advantage of loopholes, like even with P. Diddy, even with P. Diddy, and then you got Jay-Z, you got girls making up stories trying to get Jay-Z. That type of behavior is gonna make legislation make it very, very hard for women to actually get justice, because it's gonna be assumed, just like the conviction rate is only 45%. You guys are really destroying your credibility by continuing to do this, But I'll leave that there, and hopefully, like I said in my last video, hopefully they can all just walk away, go their separate ways, and learn the lesson. But watch, 10 years from now, don't be surprised if, women got limits on how much they can drink. They got curfews, all of this complaining about, oh, I don't know what happens when I go to a guy's hotel room after I left the hotel. I don't know what was going to happen. Oh, I blacked out. I didn't know what happened. I was scared. I didn't know what happened. Yeah, we're going to write laws to make sure that you need a man accompanying you every time you leave the house, like those people in Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? We make fun of them a lot, and we call their culture oppressive, but they might have had everything figured out. Hey, go ahead and put this big old bag over your head, since you can't handle a bunch of guys catcalling you or whistling at you. Let's just go ahead and put a big old bag over your head. Problem solved. Problem solved. And then if we catch you walking around without the bag over your head, we're gonna stone you. You know what I mean? Problem solved. You know what I mean? Anyway, but that's just my thoughts on that. Watch out for the rubber band effect. It's coming.